All right, hello and welcome everyone. We have another dev workshop to talk about, and this time it is about Kuva Liches, and these changes are coming in hot. These are going to be live as soon as next week on apparently both PC, PS4, and Xbox One potentially. So let's just talk about these. There's not a whole lot here. There's not as much like just kind of generalized discussion like we can have with UI stuff, because I've done a lot of discussing the liches. I have multiple videos on that, on how like I would potentially fix them and stuff. But these are going to be some changes that we're going to see, and just spoilers, I think they're pretty good. And yeah, basically that. So let's just get right into this with the larvaling changes. So basically, larvalings are now going to, whenever you down them, display the weapon that the lich they make will give you. So you can choose to just not kill the larvaling, and then you will just not have to go through that lich and get that weapon. So you can just farm larvalings until it has the weapon you want, and then spawn your lich and then get the weapon that you'd like to get, which is incredibly good for actually progressing and also just like collecting one of all the weapons at least. And it's also important for a thing we're going to talk about in a moment, which relates to another change. But on top of this, they realize that what this is going to make happen is you're going to go to like farm and like spawn a lich, and you're going to leave a lot of these behind, because if you get the Kuva Seer like 7 times in a row, fuck that weapon, it sucks ass. So whenever you leave behind a lich or a larvaling in a mission, it's going to give you 100 Kuva at the end of the mission. If you didn't kill it. So you're at least getting a little bit of Kuva. Like there's a small reward for just trying to get the lich you're actually looking for, which I think is a positive change overall. 100 Kuva is like nothing gigantic, but it's respectable that they realize that you're going to want at least a little something for trying to get the weapon you're actually looking for. So that's very nice. Moving on, we have this here, which is just honestly a small note. That liches are no longer going to kill you. So the really big feel bad of every time you guess with your requiems, the lich like fucking snaps you in half, that is going away. That'll be very nice, because maybe people won't be just so averse to like just hitting their lich and guessing on it now, because as it stands currently, if you're in a public group, people just let their lich sit there and they like will just not guess on it, and it's really wild to me to think about that. But that won't happen anymore. Instead, they're just going to laugh at you, which, you know what? Fair enough. And then besides that, we have the other really important changes besides the larvalings, which are the valence, transfer, infusion changes. And these are exceedingly positive, because this will allow everyone the potential to get the best version of any given weapon. And what I mean by that is that valence transfer, as it stands now, allows you to put the percentage on one Kuva Karak, let's say, onto another Kuva Karak that you've already formed up or whatnot. And that's like fine, but what it made you do is you still had to roll the max 60% Kuva Karak in order to put that one on the one that you already have and form it up. This makes it so it's actually a progression system, which is considerably better. So in this case, you can just feed a weapon a bunch of other Kuva Karaks, and it will eventually power up and be max power. So to give a couple examples here, if you have a Kuva Comb with 25% damage on it, and you infuse it into your 40% weapon, it goes to 44%. If you have a 40% one and you infuse a 25%, it goes to 44%. And then if you 25% damage infused into your 44% weapon, it goes up to 48.4. So no matter what you're doing, if you're combining the weapons, number will go up to the cap of 60%. That is extremely helpful, because it means that you're just going to be able to progress. You might need to go and farm a lot of Kuva Combs and put them together in order to get the best Kuva Comb that you can put together, but you can get there. There's an eventuality to it, and I find that to be extremely important. This is basically a change that makes this, like, essentially what this does is it makes the Kuva weapons just not Rivens anymore. Because, like, what it was before is, like, they have random stats and they drop and whatever, and it's just turbo randomness. But whenever you cut the randomness all the way down to just having to farm the weapon a bunch of times from a Lich and then combine them all to get the best possible thing, It actually just makes this a solid kind of loop, honestly, for you to power up the different Kuva weapons that you enjoy. And I'm very happy they made this change. But yeah, super good stuff here. This is by far the most important thing for people that like to min-max, because you're going to actually be able to min-max without just having to be the luckiest motherfucker alive. Moving on. There are just some kind of other just random changes in here. And that is basically that 2 new weapons are going to be added. We don't know what those are yet. But, you know, could be anything. We could get a Kuva Sobek. That might be cool. Lots of options for what they could add. Plenty of Grineer weapons up for the possibility there. And then also, the chance to get an ephemera is going to double again. And it is 10% right now, which means it's going to be 20%. So if you are going to try and get an ephemera, it is going to be exceedingly easy to get now, because a 1 in 5 is pretty solid. At the very least, there are going to be a lot more ephemera liches just in the market, so the price of those is likely to drop. So if you have them, probably sell them now if that's the market you're in. Anyway, though, this is also not going to be the last of the changes. There's going to be some more stuff discussing how they're going to integrate the liches into Railjack and stuff, but that is kind of the end of the current stuff here. Honestly, these are all extremely positive changes. I think that like more could be done to integrate the Kuva Lich loop into the main game and not keep it as separated as it is currently. But for just general making that separate loop better, they did that in spades here. All these changes I think are actually extremely positive, and it's a nice change of pace from what we have been experiencing up to this point. Because I can't really find a fault at all with any of these changes. It all seems great to me. And hopefully it all seems great to you guys, because they're going to need that. But yeah, that is going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And thank you for the feedback on this kind of like new styled layout for the note and review type videos, I suppose it is. I appreciate it, and I'm glad you guys have enjoyed it so far. If you guys have any further feedback on that, anyone who didn't do it before, who hates this format maybe, tell me now, because I'm going to continue to do this if at all possible. But yeah, I will see you guys later.